Okay, so we will bring Tranquility to them for Dighanikāya 5. So you can read for me, brother.
Sitting to one side, the Brahmin Kutadanta addressed the Blessed One. Master Gotama, I have heard that you understand how to conduct successfully the triple sacrifice with its 16 requisites. Now, I do not understand all this, but I want to make a big sacrifice. It would be good if Master Gotama would explain this to me. He said, then listen, Brahmin, pay proper attention and I will explain. Say, yes, sir, replied Kutadanta, and the Blessed One continued.
Okay, you can continue to read this one.
Yes. Brahmin, once upon a time, there was a king called Mahavijita. He was rich, of great wealth and resources, with an abundance of gold and silver, of possessions and requisites, of money and money's worth, with a full treasury and granary. And when King Mahavijita was reflecting in private, the thought came to him, I have acquired extensive wealth in human terms. I occupy a wide extent of land which I have conquered. Let me now make a great sacrifice that would be to my benefit and happiness for a long time. And calling his chaplain, he told him his thought. I want to make a great sacrifice. Instruct me, venerable sir, how this may be to my lasting benefit and happiness.
Okay, so from this sutta, we can see that there's one Brahmin. Brahmin is, at this point, he's not the disciple of the Buddha. So he was asking something about sacrifice. Sacrifice here is according to what they understand, according to their tradition. But later the Buddha explained his own way, right? So when he addresses Brahmin, that means that he's we call it the higher caste in the Hindu society at that time. So the Buddha was telling him about this Mahavijita thing. So actually this the Buddha was telling, wow, he's the previous one of the we call past history or past lifetime. So later I will make a conclusion who is this one. But I don't think it will mention here. But he actually, in the ending of this sutta, he said this chaplain was the Buddha to be, was the Bodhisattva. Okay, so because he was telling the story as he recall, he was a Bodhisattva and he was born as the chaplain at that time. Okay, now we can see this Mahavijita. So even though he's very wealthy as a king, but he's not greedy. He want to give donation, even though he used the word sacrifice, right? Because this story was an answer for this Brahmin Kutadanta. The Buddha was replying and by giving the story about King Mahavijita. Okay, yes, you can continue this, brother. Yeah.
The chaplain replied, Your Majesty, country is beset by thieves. It is ravished. Villages and towns are being destroyed. The countryside is invested with brigands. If Your Majesty were to tax this region, that would be the wrong thing to do. Suppose Your Majesty were to think, I will get rid of this plague of robbers by executions and imprisonment, or by confiscation, threats, and banishment. The plague would not be properly ended. Those who survive will later harm Your Majesty's realm. However, with this plan, you can completely eliminate the plague. To those in the kingdom who are engaged in cultivating crops and raising cattle, let Your Majesty distribute grain and fodder. To those in trade, give capital. To those in government service, assign proper living wages. Then those people been intent on their own occupations will not harm the kingdom. Your Majesty's revenue will be great. The land will be tranquil and not beset by thieves. And the people with joy in their hearts, playing with their children, will dwell in open houses.
Okay, thank you. Right, so we can see that first at that time the situation was that the country was having problem with the thieves. Okay, so this means that it was very common. So the villages and town being destroyed by thieves. By like remember last time when we talking about the turning of the wheel. Okay, so this happened because of poverty. Because of poverty, thieves happen, and also with robbers, brigands, and so on. So if he's to tax, it doesn't solve the problem. Even he can get rid of them, he can imprison them, but it will not solve the problem. Because there will be some leftover, and then they will be continue to harm. Okay, so the chaplain is actually, we use the word, this is a kind of like actually, this is more like Christian terms, right? So actually, sometimes we can use the word, if we want, we call it royal advisor. It's better than this word chaplain. Chaplain sound like Christian, all right? So royal advisor, be better. So this royal advisor say, according to the category, so if those who are under cultivation, so Majesty help them by giving them grain and folders, means help them with cultivation. For those who are doing business, help them with giving them some capital. And those in government service means that those are working for the government or any government officer. So give them proper means give them enough money for them to survive. And then if they are in harmony doing their job, then they will not harm the kingdom. Okay, now, so we can see this wise decision. Okay, so yes, you can read some more. Yeah, yeah, yes.
Your Majesty's revenue will be great. The land will be tranquil and not beset by thieves, and the people with joy in their hearts, playing with their children, will dwell in open houses. And saying, so be it, the king accepted the chaplain's advice. He gave grain and fodder to those engaged in cultivating crops and raising cattle, capital to those in trade, proper living wages to those in government service. Then those people, being intent on their own occupations, did not harm the kingdom. The king's revenues became great. The land was tranquil and not beset by thieves, and the people with joy in their hearts, playing with their children, dwelt in open houses. From Dighanikāya 5,
Okay.
Uttaka.
Yes, thank you. Now this sutta is very short, all right? But we can do some discussion for here. Now, what is the sacrifice mentioned in a traditional way? Here actually we didn't see the answer. But according to this sutta, it's a Dighanikāya Kutadanta Sutta. So if we go for internet, so you can go for the Sutra net. Okay, there's a Sujato here. So if you look at this sutta, now because earlier on the King Mahavijita, he want to do the sacrifice. Now, what was the original sacrifice according to the traditional way? Okay, so it's like we have to look at the example. Okay, now,
Three modes.
according to this sutta, the great sacrifice, what was this great sacrifice according to the Hindu tradition? So this means that they are really killing, all right? So you see, the Brahmin Kutadanta, right? So he has prepared a great sacrifice. According to that, the bulls, bullocks, hares, goats, rams, 700 of each. So if like this, how many? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 times 700 is 3,500, right? So they are going to sacrifice the animal. Then they heard about Ascetic Gotama, means that the Buddha came in. That's why he want to ask this question, what is the sacrifice? Okay. Then the story about and so on. So when we read this sutta, so we get a more answer. Okay, you can see from beginning, this Brahmin, from the Indian high class, we kind of like we call it higher class here. So he want to do this sacrifice. Now, what is this sacrifice? So that's the first question asked. The traditional way is, the answer will be sacrifice of animal. Like nowadays, you see the Hindu tradition or uh, even like Islam, their sacrifice will be more towards of what? Killing beings. All right. So this is the first answer that we should think. Then compare to, and what is the right sacrifice by this king? Okay. What's the answer? Brother? For this king, what is the right sacrifice done by him?
To help the people.
Okay, you want to sacrifice means you want to means donation. Okay, he wants a donation to the people. So his idea is different from the traditional viewpoint. Now, the next question: if the king were to tax the region, so what will happen? Will it solve the problem or will it increase the problem? What's the answer? Will it solve the problem or will it increase the problem?
It will make the people
more suffer, right?
suffer.
So yeah, so if he do it, then more people will suffer. More people will suffer. This means there will be more poverty. When more poverty, what will happen? More thief. Okay, more thief, more stealing. All right, more stealing and so on. So you say that I think it's like what people do when they see got problem, they want to always do this. They want to tax the society. But when they tax society, they thought they will get money from the society. But actually, you create more problem, right? So, and the next question, according to the chaplain, so you also say that, because remember he said, if the tax the religion, it will be wrong too. And if the majesty was towards to imprison them, it also will be wrong. Okay? So the champion, he gave advice. So should not do this and should not do this. There are these two things that should not be done. First is to tax. There's the first thing you should not be done. And second thing, you should not just try to execution or imprisonment. So these two things should not be done. Because we had to know this is the first problem if you do it. And if he executes and got rid of the robbers, will the problem stop? No. All right, no. Why? Because then he say those who are not caught, they will create more problems, right? So it doesn't solve the problem at all. Okay. Okay. Now the next question, what caused the robbery? So for this question, we remember in the past sutta about the universal monarch. So we see this question before. What caused the robbery? The answer was poverty, right? So we see in the last time, this one. When people are poor, they will steal, they will rob. Okay. Now the next question. The champion, he advised the king to give grain and fodder to the farmers and cattlemen. And by giving this, what will happen? We have to think about that, the logic. What happened? Okay. So, okay, online student, you also can answer. Okay. What will happen if the king give the grant and further to the farmers and cattlemen? Online student, you also can answer. Any answer? Sally? Yes. No answer. What will happen when the government or the king helping the farmers and cattlemen? What will happen? You have to think about that. We are talking about management of the country, right?
They can feed themselves and
Uh-huh.
not to become robbers.
They can feed themselves. And also another thing is their product will increase. Okay? So the king is helping them by let them be able to take care of themselves, and also they will earn money, right? So this means that they will earn more money. So in this way is instead of tax the people, the king is helping them. Okay? Right. Now next question.
You say that the people occupied with their own work
Okay.
will not harass the realm. The
All
king's revenue will be great. The
Okay.
country will be secure.
Okay, so there's also another answer mentioned there. Yeah, when the people are intent on their occupation, so they will not harm the kingdom. Okay, so this is also a good answer. So this answer or this answer. Okay, now next question number 7. So sometimes we need to do Q&A because it helps us to think, all right? Now, by giving capital to those in trade, beside this answer, those people being intended on the occupation will not harm the kingdom. So by giving capital to those in trade, what will happen later? Sam, the answer will be their business will be better, okay? Their business will be better. So means that their livelihood is more secure. So we can see that if a government is helping them in this way, people's life is better. When people's life is better, they are busy with their job, so they will not harm the kingdom. They will not harm the kingdom means they will not steal, they will not rob, they will not disturb others people. Right. Now, next question. Now the lawyer advisor, the chaplain also asked the king by giving the proper wages to the government service. Now, what will happen later? You have to think about that. When you give the government people, government workers, the enough salary, okay, what will happen, brother? Yeah.
I think there will be more contentment and
Okay, more
less
contentment.
corruption.
Yes, more contentment and less corruption. Now, who is the president having the highest salary in the world? Sometimes they say I heard last time they say the president of Singapore, right? Now, what I heard is that Singapore government, they give the workers salary, those in a government salary, quite high salary. So when they have enough salary, they will not be tempted for corruption. The corruption happen because they feel that they do not have enough money. That's why they want to get more for themselves. So you all should do a research. Which country give the highest salary or better salary to the government worker, like a minister or president and so on. Okay, now number 9. If the above giving are not done, what will happen? Okay, so if the king never help people, never help the farmer, never help the business people, never help the government service, okay, what will happen? So the answer will be the country is weak, right? Now we call it the foundation. Foundation means agricultural. Like in a country, they must have agriculture, means they should produce enough food for people to eat, right? If the country do not have enough ability to produce food for people to eat, they always have to be import. So then the country is weak. And then if people do not know how to do trading, to import, export for the businessmen, then the country is weak. And if those who are in government service are not able to do work properly, then the country cannot be run properly. Okay, now the rest is, I think this question is easy. Social unrest is caused by, and peacefulness in the country is caused by. Okay, now we think this is a more general question, all right? It may be not referred to this sutta, so we can think about it. Now, what causes social unrest? Online student, you can answer. Melinda, you can try, or Sumita.
Sanjeev, social unrest is caused by the people are not content, and then there's not enough food,
Content,
then
yes.
and they are not happy with the situation.
Okay. Not happy with sometimes with politics also, right? Not happy with situation, politics, and
Injustice.
yeah, politics, injustice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So it means that they are not happy with the government.
Yeah.
Especially like I think we can see this in many countries like Nepal, last time in Sri Lanka, where people do the demonstration, or also in Myanmar. They are not happy with the politics, injustice, and also like if there are not enough food, of course. Now, peacefulness in a country, we can think opposite way. What does it cause by? All right. Yes, Sumita or online student? Any of the online?
Yeah, so J, peacefulness in the country is caused by when there's understanding, common understanding, mutual respect, and also most important, the welfare.
Okay,
The
have
social
welfare, right?
welfare.
Have enough social welfare. Welfare means protection
Security.
from the government.
Yes.
All right. So beside this, what else?
There's
Enough food.
contentment. There's
Yeah, enough basic needs. Yeah, that's very
Yeah.
important. No, any country, if they do not have basic needs, no matter you talk about politics or whatever, it's not enough. Once the people are hungry,
Yeah.
what will happen? Poverty, right? Poverty.
Yes.
So it is here maybe you can just put in this one. Poverty, okay? Poverty. Okay, so
Also, there's political stability.
all right. So we can see from this sutta, it also teaches already about poverty problem and about the country should have enough social welfare, giving help to the people there, and make sure that they have enough food. Actually, a country should be able to have enough agriculture. That's important. Like Singapore, it does not have enough, but it runs by the good government, so it's different, right? Malaysia has enough
Self-sustenance.
agriculture. Yeah, self-sustenance, yes. It need to be self-sustenance. All right. A country should be able to run. Yeah, even though it need to do import export, but at least it can run enough. Okay, now we come to this important point. All right. So on both we already covered this sutta, and let's come for main teaching of the Buddha covered here in the sutta. So anybody can give some answer. What's the main teaching you can learn from here? Brother, what do you think?
A good social policy for the country. That means the leaders must really have the heart for the people.
Okay, so means that metta, all right? Metta, okay? So we try to think about the Buddhist term. So metta from the king or ruler is important, right? So we can see the King Mahavijita. He has
Compassion. Is compassionate.
yes, benevolent,
Benevolent.
okay. benevolent mind or heart to his people. So that's important here. What is benevolent? Okay. Okay, now what's another one? We have to think about Buddha teaching now, no? Okay, now we social issue we already mentioned already, and then general this or general thing. So we just go to in this sutta. Okay,
Right
what is the
livelihood. Their right livelihood.
okay? Good point. Yes, right livelihood. Right livelihood means people farmer do the farming without breaking the
They
precept.
are
So
engaged
when
in
we say
cultivating.
yes, right livelihood means do livelihood without harming others. All right. Wrong livelihood is like including the drug and then including the poison. All these are wrong livelihood. So now they need to have right livelihood means that they do all their agricultural trading or capital without injuring others. So that's a very important thing. Okay. Now what else? Any other? Okay, so we go through again.
The country must be safe lah.
Okay.
Secure as a century.
Rule of law.
Huh?
You
Sorry.
need the rule of law, sila.
Okay, sila. The country must be secure, and another one says sila. Okay, secure in terms of what?
There's rule to obey, to follow.
Okay, so the brother here say is in terms of sila, precept. Okay, precept. Okay, and also you say peacefulness. Peacefulness is in terms of what? Think more about Dharma viewpoint. Chai Hung. Peacefulness in terms of what?
I mean, if there is
The people live in
secure in
peace.
terms of they have their own job, they don't need to suffer from poverty, then the
Okay, less
country is
suffering.
safe lah. I
Okay.
mean, not so much of crimes or whatever.
Yeah, okay. So
People
they
are
have
more
less
happy.
yes, they have less suffering. That's why they have when they people are having less suffering,
Mm.
so then they have peace and secure. Okay, so that's good. Now also there's something else I want you all to think in terms of karma. Can you see karma here? Karma. Where's the karma? Can you see from the point of karma? Karma is very important concept here.
The okay,
When you help the
there's
people,
a good
the
income
people will-
because they have their own, they engage in cultivation and also raising cattle and so on. So they have their right occupation, and they also in a way the king's revenue also became great. So the land was peaceful and not beset by thieves. So the people they are joyful with their mind and hearts. So they enjoy with their children, and also their houses are open one. They don't have, they feel secure lah. That's
Yeah,
why they
people
don't
feel
have to be
secure,
locked.
right? Yes,
Mm.
people feel secure because of things, okay? And but now I want to focus more on karma viewpoint. So you have to think about karma. Think about this
Saji,
karma.
can we say they will be doing all good wholesome deeds, because they are happy, they will tend to do all the
Okay.
kusala things.
Do good deeds. Okay.
They have proper
Okay.
living wages.
All right. Now, okay, I think you missed the point. Now, you can see that the Brahmin Kutadanta, at first I mentioned already, at first he was wanting to do in a traditional viewpoint, right? The sacrifice. So if you go for this Dighanikāya number 5, all right? So this is a long sutta. So he said that he want to prepare. Do you see the karma here?
I want to make a great sacrifice.
Yeah, he's supposed to done a bad karma here. Do you see that? That was his original idea. He was wanting to do a bad karma of killings. How many animals? Hundreds of animals, no? Because of, let's say, bull, bullocks, heifer, goat, ram. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 700, 3,500 animals supposed to be killed on that day. But he heard that the Gotama is coming. So he heard the Buddha is coming. That's why he go and pay respect to the Buddha. And the Buddha was telling him about this story. So by telling this story, what will happen? So I didn't go, so we can go through now. So after listen to his story, so he became a disciple of the Buddha, right? See? And this bull goat, I released them, I grant them life. So he didn't kill. That's very important. Because if the Buddha didn't come and preach the Dharma to him, imagine his karma of killing so many boys. And instead of killing, he became a lay disciple. And finally, he became a stream entry. All right? Okay, now do you also see this point? Yes, right? So this means that this Brahmin, so sometimes when we study the sutta, we must look at the human character. Human character actually is very important in sutta, not in Abhidhamma, okay? So this Brahmin, okay, sorry, let me copy the name first. This Brahmin, we look at his karma, right? Yes. Now, his karma is, so at first, he supposed to do very bad karma, all right? By sacrificing how many animals? Thousands of animals, okay? Now, after he listened to the Buddha, so he released all these animals. So this means that from very bad karma, he did good karma, and finally he became enlightened. Right? He became a lay follower and became a Sotapanna. Okay, so that's why we say sometimes when we see this story, we don't just focus on just an idea about the people here or people there, but we look at the context of the person. How many person? We have this Brahmin. Another person we see is the king, okay? The Mahavijita. Another person is champion. Champion means the lawyer advisor. Now, who is this champion? So he was in fact Bodhisattva, right? Bodhisattva means before in the past he was the Buddha Gotama was in past this champion. Okay, now we look at how you know.
Sorry, Saji.
Huh?
Can I ask a question?
Mhm. Okay, wait, you see. So the Buddha admit himself, he translated it as a high priest. But this the translation for the champion is this one. Okay. So he might be either the Gautama Buddha might be the King Mahavijita or the champion here. So you will say he was the champion, the person who was trying to do the sacrifice. Okay? Yeah. Yes, you can ask this question. Yes,
Sorry, your Sutta show got numbers one, but I open Sutta Central, I don't see the numbers. What does that mean?
Oh, okay. The numbers is
Then the 21, whatever.
yeah. So I was clicking something. Maybe. Segment numbers. Yeah, I was maybe clicking some of the things. It's okay, no problem. Cannot find. Okay, so this is a very interesting sutta. So now I think we finished this discussion on this bringing the tranquility to to the land from the Dighanikāya. So this sutta is very long, but the one that in the words of the Buddha is only short one. But this is actually, if we look at it, it's talking about how do we run a government, right? So it's very simple. Is instead of sacrificing in a bad way, we are supposed to help the people in agricultural, and then helping the business and helping the government service. And then with this, the people intend the occupation will not harm the kingdom. All right. So we already go through social unrest is caused by what? Peacefulness in country is caused by what? And finally, in terms of Buddha teaching, so we already see the metta from the King Mahavijita. So that's important. And right livelihood in terms of not harming others. And sila,
Actually,
yeah,
can we say the
maintains
king must be righteous?
yeah, the king must be benevolent and also the king must be righteous. So righteous kings is in Pali we call it Dhammika. Okay, those who are righteous are called Dhammika. All right. So we also see the point of Brahmin, especially this Brahmin, because finally he instead of doing a lot of sacrificing animals, because according to Hindu custom at that time, every time when they say about sacrifice, they were really going to kill lots of animals. Even nowadays in many other regions, they also kill. Okay. Only in Dhamma we don't kill. So instead, after he listen to Buddha, he released all these animals. So he avoiding from doing a bad karma. So sometimes we can see why did the Buddha personally come to this place? Because sometimes the Buddha came to this place because Buddha realized sometimes it's possible for such people to be enlightened. You can see. Because sometimes when Buddha understand that such people can be enlightened, so it's very beneficial if the Buddha happen to be there. Because this Kutadanta, after he listen the talk of the Buddha, he start to have right view. He let go all the animals, and finally he also attain the fruits of stream and tree. So that means that from there, how did the Buddha teach him? Normally, the Buddha will talk about the jaga, means giving, then the sila, ethical conduct, and after that, heaven. But even if somebody do a generosity, having sila, they might go to heaven. Then the Buddha also explained, even you go to heaven, it's only the sensual pleasure is very short term, very disadvantage. So it's better renounce it. So after renounce it, so when he knows the mind, his mind is gentle, free of hindrances, then the Buddha start to teach about the suffering, origin suffering. He start to teach the Four Noble Truths. So by listening to Four Noble Truths, then the Dhamma vision, we call it Dhamma eye. Dhamma eye means the Sotapanna will arise in this Kutadanta. Then you understand that anicca, everything that has beginning come to end. So when he beyond doubts means that he already become enlightened. Then after that, he invite the Buddha coming for tomorrow meals and so on. Okay, yeah. So the rest of sutta actually very long because it's talking about different types of sacrifice and so on. Okay. Then there are something 16 aspect, 3 aspect, 10 aspect, right? But I think we managed to say the key point already. Okay. All right, so I think that's enough for today. So you all understand about this sutta, right? Yeah, it's talking about how do we run a government. So you can see which government are doing this. This government will be prosperous. So far, we only see the Bhutan government, right? The Bhutan government, the king take care of the people. In Bhutan, there's no beggar. Do you know that? Bhutan, there are no beggar at all. Because if there are no land, the king will give, they go to the king will give them land. If they don't have money, the king will help them. So only Bhutan is a country that really considered very happy.
Yes. Yes, Saji, they have the highest happiness index.
Yes, yes, higher happiness. Yeah, it's true. Even those like America, you thought it's a very good country, but America a lot of robbery. People can have gun, they can use the gun, go to school, go to the library, kill people because they are not happy. When people are unhappy, they express their unhappiness by hurting others. All right. So if we want a happy country, we should have a lot of happy people. And how to have happy means there should be enough food for everybody. Enough food, enough security. So this sutta is actually linked with the previous sutta. Remember the previous sutta we are talking about the universal monarch, how they should take care of people also. All right, so we will end by sharing merits. Yeah, okay.
Right, the same story to the Lichabis one.
Ciao. Okay.